Are you happy in your job, your accounting role, the firm that you're at? Have you thought about leaving? Have you had interest from recruiters recently or LinkedIn approaches telling you they can offer you something better? Or have you just been a little bit dissatisfied with where you are, thinking that if this is the best that the accounting profession has to offer you, you can do better? We're talking today about job switching. Should you switch your accounting job for a better lifestyle, more flexibility, more career growth, more money? Or is the decision to leave based on other things? This is a show that will help you as an accounting professional be more influential, more relevant, better performing in your accounting role. And we're looking at that career choice today that we've all thought about from time to time. Should I stay or should I go? Let's look at the financial angle, which is the biggest incentive for people going often. Post-pandemic job switching was a no-brainer for many accountants because, well, everyone did it and it gave you lots of upside. In the pandemic, 2022, I'm talking about 50 million Americans switched jobs. Well, they quit their jobs. Some didn't go back, actually, largely because the financial rewards were too good to ignore. 15 to 20% hikes in salaries if you were willing to sign on the dotted line for a new employer. It was a fact. But recent shifts, and I saw this in the news recently, the economy, the political landscape is changing things. The job market's on its knees at the moment. According to data from ADP, the median pay increase for job switchers has dropped from 7% to 4%. So that guaranteed salary jump, it's more of a step. And changing jobs these days is not quite as impressive. It might not be promising the rewards that you might thought it is. So let's move beyond the money for a moment. Today's professionals, especially in accounting, we value flexibility, quality of life more than ever before. It counts more than money. You may have seen stats that promise people promotion, with it managerial responsibilities, and with it more money, but you'd have to be in the office. You'd have to take charge of people. And a lot of people turn that down. They're anxious for quality of life. They like the non-commute. They like the hybrid working options, particularly the Gen Zs that are coming through. Gen Zs will form 25-30% of the population by 2030. They're in your workplace right now, and we've done a previous episode on Gen Zs. And the way they run a firm, the way they run their lives is instrumental in shaping the culture of a firm. So widespread layoffs, return to office mandates, all of these are in play. Rigid workplace policies, uncertainty around your working environment, your career progression, working for a bad boss, all of these things come into play. And if you want better conditions elsewhere, then you're the same as most talented people, because we're all doing that. Even if it doesn't mean more money, we're always on the lookout for something better, unless you have found your forever firm. And I'll come back to that in a moment. So I'm going to give you some red flags which might indicate that it could be time for you to move. And I'm sure you've ran through all of these. I'm sure you've Googled and TikToked them and everything else. Should I stay or should I go? But number one, if you feel your professional growth has plateaued or your advancement is not as quick as it could have been or as was promised, there's no clear pathway to promotion or upskilling for you, then you've got a problem. That might be the culture of the firm. It might be the input of private equity money. It could be the people around you. It could be the business structure, the format, the partnership hierarchy of the firm. Could be lots of things. But if you're plateauing, that's a red flag. If you're undervalued consistently, and we all get bad days, but if you are overlooked for promotions, if you're not fairly compensated compared to your peers or to industry standards or other people in your firm, that could be a red flag. That's number two. Number three, toxic workplace, micromanagement, strong culture of ineptitude, dishonesty, lack of transparency, poor leadership. All of this negatively impacts on mental health now and job satisfaction. These are big factors in any decision. So that's another red flag. And the fourth is the inflexibility of your firm. So if they are putting in rigid policies and procedures, be in the office 5 days a week, full office attendance, anything like that, if that's severely limiting your work-life balance or your mental health, or indeed just your productivity, if you're in a 1-2 hour commute every day and the commutes are long, then that's a factor there. So there are some red flags that you might be looking around, polishing up your resume, talking to your friends, probing your network a little bit, being a bit more open to recruitment advisors, polishing up your LinkedIn profile, being a little bit more active on social, building your personal brand. We'll come back to some of these, but these are all in play. And look carefully at the signs, because not all firms are perfect. Not all firms are right for you. And your forever firm is a beautiful place to be. If you can find it, you might be in it now. This might just be a vindication of everything you've got going on that's great. And if it is, brilliant. If you get a chance to do your best work on a daily basis with good people and good clients, and you're going somewhere with it and it's delivering all the things you want in a role, then you're great. So if you see yourself in those scenarios that I've talked about, those red flags, exploring new opportunities might be beneficial for you. But the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So before you hand in your notice or give people 90 days, just reflect on some of these green flags that should make you stay in where you are right now. So if you love your firm's culture, if you love the leadership, the team dynamics, the people, you've got good relationships, you've got workplace harmony, you've got a certain peace around there, there's a good understanding, that's irreplaceable. You don't get that at many other firms, regardless of what they're promising you. So if you've got that, that's difficult to walk away from, regardless of money. Second green flag, if your current firm is investing in your growth, your professional development, your career opportunities, if there's mentoring programs, if they're giving you clear, achievable career paths, if they're promising things and stepping up and you can see people around you on that path and they're getting the same input and it's not just you, that's a good sign. Your firm's growing, they're promoting from within, they're giving you more responsibilities. That's worth staying for, potentially. Another green flag reason to stay is you enjoy a certain amount of career autonomy, flexibility, hybrid working arrangements that genuinely enhance your quality of life. You could have children, you could be caring after relatives, you could have a golf game that you're trying to hone or some fitness, anything like that. Just peace of mind. Losing that, even for a bigger payoff, would severely impact your day-to-day happiness. A major consideration. Another green flag that is encouraging you to stay is if your motivation to leave is purely financial. If it's a temporary discomfort, you want to drive a bigger car, have more holidays. If it's envy of your peers, then short-term financial gains rarely sustain long-term job satisfaction. They'll give you an extra buck, but they'll make you bleed for it. And that's why this whole culture around the big four, it's a grind. Everybody knows it's a grind, but you'll earn million. If you get to partner, you'll earn $1 million, and that's great. But at what price do you pay for that? And don't get me wrong, it's great for some people. It's not great for everyone. So yeah, they'll extort a pound of flesh from you if you want to go down that route. And here's something a lot of professionals overlook. The holistic value of putting everything together, working conditions, flexibility, that often trumps salary alone. It's critical components in attracting and retaining talent. If you're in any HR, recruitment, leadership role, and you are responsible for keeping your best people, then you know that salary increases are great, but you've got to give people a great working environment. So employers, take note. If you're not giving flexibility, if you are putting in rigid policies, your best people will eventually walk, no matter how good and competitive those salaries might be. For leaders and owners of accounting firms that are A, looking to retain their best talent, and B, looking to poach the best talent from your competition, here's a few practical tips. The degree to which you can create and clearly communicate career development pathways, that's enticing. That makes for a good employer brand. Ambitious accountants, and there are a lot of them out there, not everybody, but ambitious accountants stay where they see tangible growth opportunities and rapid career advancement, but not necessarily rapid. If you're teaching them great things and really upskilling them and they can see that their efforts are being rewarded and eventually good things will come, that's a good place to be. But you've got to communicate that and you've got to demonstrate that to your people. Next thing, as an owner or a hirer, prioritize a good, inclusive, healthy workplace. I'm not going to go down the DEI route. We've done previous podcasts on that, but people leave because of bad bosses, bad colleagues, bad toxic work relationships. So if your people are stressed, if you're burning them out and overloaded them, that causes good talent to seek better working environments, and that might mean leaving your firm. The thing you should be doing is investing in training, in development proactively. And one of the problems with the partnership model, you'll have read a lot about this, is that partners with equity invested in the firm are not always willing to let that equity go to develop other people in the firm. Is it short-sighted? Probably, but it's a reality in many, many firms. So if you are not investing in training and development in your people and coaching and upskilling, if you're not doing that proactively, your employees are going to feel undervalued, not invested in, and they will walk. So look at that. Next thing to consider if you're employing is flexibility. We can't get away from it, even though the return to office mandates are dragging people back in. We've seen it in corporate. We've seen it in some of the big firms. And it is an excuse to trim your workforce and let people go because you overhired during the pandemic and AI is taking over a lot of the automation and grunt work. True flexibility attracts the best people. So trust your team to develop good client relationships, a great client experience, their own skills, and results, deliver results regardless of location. If you trust them to do that, flexibility is now a baseline expectation. It's not just a perk. So be really wary if you've got big offices to fill of wanting people back in the office 5 days a week. And you've got to be transparent in the way you communicate internally. Empathetic leadership, they call it, don't they? Are you genuine? Are you authentic? Have you got my best interests at heart as an employee? Or are you just looking after your own pots, as it were? So people want to be cared for, seen, heard, understood. They want to know that you are on their side. So in these uncertain economic times, what are you doing to make people feel safe and secure? And rewarding them for the hard work they're putting in. When it comes to keeping people, and if you're in a position where you might be looking going elsewhere, I talked earlier about your forever firm. I first came across this term with a firm called BRC, Bernard Robinson and Company, based out of North Carolina, that were a client of mine for a while. And I was interviewing their people on a monthly basis, people at partner level, below partner level, at entry level, at intern level, and talking about why their firm was such a great place to work. I'd been to visit the managing partner, as was then, and did a live interview with Laurie Kelly for our podcast here, and she just talked about this culture where people thought that BRC was their forever firm. And when you think forever firm and saying it's like family, families don't often exude a great vibe for people. There are many dysfunctional families around, divorces at an all-time high, but just this idea of a forever firm where you can put some roots down and you can settle and you can feel like you're part of something bigger than yourself and you're around for a while and you can create some kind of legacy or really make a difference. It's hard to do that often if you're flitting around and trying lots of different roles, just chasing the buck. So a forever firm is a workplace that offers the right blend of career growth, competitive compensation, genuine flexibility, autonomy, a healthy, supportive environment. Is such loyalty outdated? No. Could it become your career superpower? Yes. If you can find a forever firm, how productive and peaceful and happy are you going to be in that firm? And if you can provide a forever firm for people, think about the hassle you wouldn't have to go through with losing people, recruiting people, onboarding people, training people, getting them up to speed, imbuing your culture into them. Look, the decision to stay or go has got to reflect your true priorities. They're all different. Some people want a lifestyle. Some people want 3 cars in the drive or sending the kids to private school. We're all different. We're all contending with something. We've all got different needs and priorities. But what we're learning here is the day when simply switching jobs to guarantee a big salary increase, that day's gone. That ship has sailed. Stability, meaningful work, flexibility, they're going to give you a lot more peace and happiness and long-term security, fulfillment, professional success than anything else. So I guess my challenge to you today as we finish off this episode is to deeply evaluate what's driving any urge to move. Are you running away from temporary discomfort or a bad situation? Or are you intentionally stepping towards something more meaningful, more lasting, more good for your soul? It's a lot to think about. You've been listening to the Accounting Influencer podcast. I'm Rob Brown, empowering you to build your influence, accelerate your professional development, lead boldly. And if you want some help in building your personal brand and your profile and giving you more career capital with which you can negotiate all the autonomy and flexibility and working conditions you like, get in touch with me on LinkedIn. I work with a few accounting professionals and leaders. I interview them once a month for 30, 40 minutes and we create loads of great thought leadership and opinion pieces and showcase your domain expertise and turn it into video snippets and great blog posts and thought leadership articles. So it's done for you. And it is a great way to get your ideas out there and show people that you are the go-to person for what you do and you are supremely valuable in any organization you work for. Thanks for picking up the show, watching us on YouTube, on the Accounting Influencer channel, and on all of the podcast platforms. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.